lot of times when you're using NumPy, you need to access a data set and do something with it, right? And so I have this small data set that looks just like that. This is a small set from a larger set of the nutritional values within probably like 100 different food items. This just has 13 listed, or 12 actually. So anyway, that's what it's accessing. This is the function you use. It's called gen from text. You give it the where you want to grab it from, right? And what's the delimiter? Commas here, because it's a CSV file. Any missing values it will replace with 0, and the data type comes in as string because, as you see here, there's a lot of strings in this. I can't just do a number. I'll have some issues if I do that. And so let's just see what that looks like when I just print that out. So if I run this, you see that it prints out the whole the whole list as a NumPy array. So it's within, there's row 1, row 2, right, and so on. And so like I said, very handy. But let's say the feature row you wanted to get rid of because you're more interested in working with numbers. So I'm going to show you how you can delete a row, and that is using this delete function. And the first value is which row you want to delete, and then the next one is starting where. So we're going to start at 0 to get rid of the whole row. And so now you'll see if I'll print this, it's going to print the whole thing first, and then after the delete, you'll see the features, the labels are gone. So look, here's the first one with the features, labels, and then they're gone here, right? So pretty handy. But let's say you wanted to get, so that if you notice right here, we had proteins. It's the 0, 1, 2, third row over. Let's say we wanted to access all those values. You can't really do that with NumPy unless you transpose it, which means kind of flip it over 90 degrees to the left. And so I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to put that right there. So that's now going to transpose, and we're going to print out. That'll be our last printout. So let's see. So after the transpose, you can see that we have like this. This was one column. Now it is a row, right? So that's the same for all of these. I think this is the protein one now. That is, now it's a little more handy as you can access that information. So that information though is as a string right now. But let's say we wanted to let's say we wanted to get like the average of all the proteins in there, right? And so you would have to convert that to a float or an integer. But a float because we're going to use decimal points. So I want to show you a couple tricks to that. First of all, if we look at, I'm going to bring this in. If we look at row 4, which is this fat one, this has a couple of these T's in it. The protein one doesn't. That means trace amount. That's not very helpful though, because that can't convert to a number. So I'll show you a couple of things that we do. Let me just bring this down, and I'm going to put this here. So that was the fourth one over, so I'm calling it row 4. And so you can use that same gen from text that we used to bring in the CSV file, but we can just do that on one row in our NumPy array, and we can say that we want it to be of type float. And what it will do is it will change it to not a number, NaN. And then, so I'm going to print that out. And then I'm going to print out, what this does is it changes not a number to a number, basically. And you'll see it'll put zeros in there. And so if I run this, let's take a look. Yeah, so here is, oh wait, that's the transpose. Oh, so here's the float, and you see we have the not a number. and then right underneath we made them zeros, which is perfect. That actually works really well for what we're doing. And so though the protein one doesn't have any NaNs, so we don't have to worry about that. So I'm just going to show you though how we could get the average using this. So I'm doing this is a different type of converting. I'm not using gen from text. If you know that you don't have any things that are going to be not a number, you can just do as type and say float, and then you can do this MP average to get the average of the proteins. And so I'm going to hit play, and actually it is that last thing right here that is 10. That was the average. It actually is the average of all the proteins. So pretty cool. That's probably all I'm going to get in. This will be next time. I'll show you some matplotlib that you can do with this as well. But this is pretty handy. What I've showed you right now, you can actually use a lot of this to do some pretty interesting things with data sets that I'll show you in some future tutorials. I'm also going to show you how to use pandas and matplotlib all in conjunction with each other. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if there's any questions, anything you wanted to do with NumPy that I didn't show you right here. Thanks.